What happens when two builders risk everything they've built to chase a dream in Queensland?
We're all in, no plan B.
There's no going back.
There's no going back. Everything is invested.
Josh and Guy burned their bridges in Canberra and moved to Brisbane with a radical partnership philosophy.
If you both want the same role, there's going to be conflicts. You both can't do the same role because there's a lot of other aspects in the business that needs to be done.
From networking with lobsters to landing $1 million contracts.
My first mentor, I used to go diving and catch lobsters and drop them off to his house to get in the good books with a meal.
Today, we explore how 61 Property Group is redefining luxury construction in Brisbane and on the Gold Coast, why they believe culture trumps everything, and how they're building not just houses, but generational careers. This is about partnership, vision, and never settling for the ordinary.
Josh, Guy, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Been looking forward to this chat for a few weeks. And kind of had in the back of my mind for a while before this new phase, this new chapter started for you guys. Always had in the back of my mind that one day I'd love to get you up here and chat because you've had a pretty unique story. But yeah, thank you for coming in. I've got, like I said off camera, I've got some things that I'm keen to unpack with you guys that I've noticed and you've shared with me. And I think that there would be a huge amount of learnings for our audience from you guys. But before we get there, there's obviously a backstory to the things that I've been privy to and seen play out of late.
Yep.
But talk me through, because 61 Property Group, you guys joining forces, that's only a recent thing.
Yeah, correct. It's only, pretty new, but been doing a lot of work together for a long period of time. But it's kind of, we're at a stage, a pivotal moment in our lives where us together is a deadly force.
Yeah.
Really, our strengths to each other really complement each other. And now we're really going to see some cool results from it.
Yeah, it's
well,
exciting.
let's unpack it. Take me back though. Prior to you guys meeting, talk me through your lives. Maybe start with Josh. Talk me through before when you guys came across each other.
Yeah, so I am a tiler by trade. So had a tiling business for a little while. Met Guy on a job site. I was running my own business, and he's a few years younger than me. So he was either killing it doing chippy work for some builders in Canberra, or he was fishing like 6 months of the year. So
fishing.
I did a lot of
he's
fishing.
obsessed with fishing. We'll probably get into that. It's pretty much, besides building, that's the only other thing he talks about.
Yeah.
So we met through, I was doing tiling work for a builder, he was doing chippy work for a builder, and then he would come back and forth. I went overseas, we did little bits like that, and then we kind of just become closer and closer the more we worked together. And then we got to a point where I was starting to do some renos. He'd just recently got his builder's license. So I was like, come do the chippy work for our renos. We'll come do your tiling work, and we'll just keep building the relationship like that. And then we just noticed like we had a lot of similarities. Like we both enjoyed going to the gym. We like enjoyed learning, reading, like developing ourselves across the board, business coaching. And everything just kept aligning. And then we just got into a point where we'd call each other just to problem solve things on each other's businesses.
What was that like? Because that's something often that comes up is as you start to grow on that track of personal development, self-development, business development, and you think, man, I can increase my goals here. I can push them further out. But sometimes you don't always have people around you to bounce that off or to tell you that you're not crazy and encourage you. And sometimes it's a lonely path until you start to get into masterminds and you're like, oh, there's other people like me here. What was that like, having someone like Guy around?
It was
and
addictive.
Was there anyone else?
I have a really strong like network of friends back home. So all of us boys went to an all boys school in Canberra. We basically have kept that core friendship leaving school, and all of my friends are very high achievers as well. And so I was kind of always surrounded around people that wanted to look after themselves, go to the gym.
That's awesome.
But none of them had their own businesses. So then I was having different struggles than they were having. And then Guy was basically the exact same as all my friends, except had the business as well. Yeah. So then you just face different problems owning a business, like cash flow problems, staff, finding the work, trying to do marketing. You're just wearing so many hats that the people that are employed by other people, yeah, their lives are busy and they've got crazy pressure as well, but they kind of have one role in their job, and we have 50.
Yeah.
No shortage of them.
Yeah,
Heaps
so
going on.
yeah, so when you have someone like Guy and we both see things the same but different, I'd call him up and be like, this is what's happening today, and he'd be like, oh, I had that happen the other day, try and do this, or call this person, there's this contact they can help you do this, and you're like, perfect, that's exactly who I need to speak to. So it was really good. And I guess when you have someone like Guy that's doing the same thing and is like crazy addicted to it, your addiction for like personal development gets risen.
So the addiction was on bettering and seeing improvement. Working at it and seeing growth.
And like the proof in the pudding, like when you do that and you put it into action, you get the result.
What were some examples of, and maybe keen to hear your thoughts as well, Guy, examples when, if it sounds like you're also addicted to that same sort of growth and progression and that, what was there a starting point to that? And then what were some of the first things you started to put in place and started to then see and got a taste of, oh, wow, that actually works. I can learn that, put in place and see fruit?
Yeah, definitely. My starting place come from actually meeting a fella through fishing who became a great friend and a mentor to me. And the biggest starting place was you'd always look at these people in the world, like wealthy people who've done real well. And you just wonder how they got there and is it possible for me? Meeting this fella was like being in a room without a light on and then the light being turned on. And you can see like a pathway through life, the way he explained it. And he was like meticulous with the way he ran his business and life. So for me, being able to come and spend some time with him and just learning about actually focusing on the details, fine-tuning all these things in your business, and he was massive in personal development as well, business coaching. So that just set the tone for me from the start.
Talk me through that, because that's something I personally am always working on, getting more, turning that room brighter.
100%.
And I know I've had this discussion with a lot of people, and funny enough, we started discussing some of that stuff when I was grabbing a coffee out there. Talk me through, as that light started to turn on, what were some of the things that this mentor of yours started to then point out?
Just really, the main thing was just that these things are possible in life for anyone was the biggest thing to me. Like that was my switch, just realizing he come from a bit of a rough upgrowing and just built a freaking incredible life with good people. So that was the biggest thing for me, just really realizing that is possible for anyone. And that's kind of what it took just to put me on that path. I'd fish 6 to 9 months of the year and thought, this is cool. Fishing on other people's multi-million-dollar boats is epic. But then he pointed out, because he had one of these boats, like, it's cool fishing on other people's boats, but imagine your own. So it was kind of, then he explained it to me in a way, it's like, all right, you want to fish a lot, you like doing it on a cool boat, let's put that as, in an equation, put that as C. So it's A plus B equals C. A is you need to create a business to make money. B, you want to fish to get you to C.
That's fascinating, because outside we talked about that book, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, and I'm still reading through that. Put it down for a while. It's interesting you mentioned that this guy, being that success that he is, said to you, well, what if you would fish on your own? Let's, for argument's sake, say that's big person thinking. Compare that to the contrast. I've often heard growing up, you never want to own your own boat. You always want to fish on someone else's boat.
That's still true.
It is heap cheaper. I've got a boat now,
is.
Not a real big one, and it sits in the driveway a lot more than it gets used, but it still costs money.
But it just, I feel like that's also very clever. You're right, bootstrapping. But also just gets me thinking, going, I wonder how many thoughts or patterns of thought you have where it's like, no, that's small person thinking. That's thinking like that is, well, I'm going to stay here if I keep thinking like that. What were some things like that for you guys as you started on this path to go, oh, that's old thinking. I need to lay that down and pick up some new thinking?
I think you start surrounding yourself with different people when you do business coaching, and then you get recommended other things like books or places to go or other avenues to see people doing things. You get into new network circles, and then those people know people that your mind just keeps getting broader and broader because all of these people show you opportunities. And then it's, I guess, once you get runs on the board and start backing your ability in, the doors seem to open. Like, I think you want to keep getting in different rooms where there's people in there that you never really, like, they're talking about different things. Like back when we were tiling and carpenters, you're talking to boys that on the weekend they went to the pub and they got on the and that's their big event for the weekend. And then you go to a different room and they're talking about investment properties, or they're talking about shares, or they're talking about books they've read. And then you go to a different room and they're talking about developments, and they're talking about trying to buy 150 blocks of land and subdividing. And you're like, there's just different people doing different things. You just have to keep putting yourself in positions where you can get to their people. Like, it's crazy. Like, but when you're 25 and you're drinking beers with the boys, you're like, life's good, I'm making good money, like, this is fun. And then you go meet someone like Emil, and who's done amazing stuff for us, and he's talking about buying $20 million worth of property in the next couple of months. And you're like,
In the next couple of months.
Yeah, he's a wild man.
He's a wild man, but like, his energy is addictive, and you're like,
I've heard
there's
things
people
like that
doing
about
stuff.
And it's cool with him because where he did come from as well and what he's built.
Yeah.
And it is like, it's similar to what I said earlier with being in a room with a light on. He's like being in a footy stadium in the dark and putting the lights on. Like, it's just a whole new level. And it's just realizing, like, this is possible for anyone. Like,
There's different rooms,
if you're willing to do the work and humble yourself and know you don't know everything, and seek, like Josh was saying, seek those future rooms and them groups of people where you can keep elevating yourself. That's so crucial.
One thing I really want to unpack, this is what stood out to me with when you and I had the chat the other day, is just like, getting yourself in that room is not, sometimes it's some rooms you can get into, you can pay to get into, and that's great. You can invest in yourself to get into that room, masterminds, coaching groups. Sometimes though, getting in particular rooms with particular people is not just about paying your way in.
Yeah.
Nah, like my first mentor, I used to go diving and catch lobsters and drop them off to his house to get in the good books. With a meal, I'd fly up here from Canberra and then send a message like, I'm here, can we grab a coffee, can we grab breakfast? And
so you had to show him that I'm showing up.
100%. I did the legwork. Like, I'd literally fly here for a day and just try and hit him up. Like, I'm here. And sometimes you'd spend all that time, money getting up here and not catch him. Yeah. So like, right, I've got to try again.
Yeah.
And try and plan around that, because it's like, those people aren't just going to come to you, or opportunities aren't going to come to you.
That's too expensive.
It is. You just have to go out and find them. And and that's the thing I think a lot of people are scared of doing. It's like, what do you have to lose? Try it. Like, put the effort in. Someone's not going to come, knock on your door and go, I'm going to come help you. You've got to go find it.
Yeah. That's so true, because those guys have limited, to a degree, everyone has limited time and resources, and if he's going to invest it into something or someone, it's like, the person who's asking me, can you come have coffee with me in Canberra? Yeah. Or the person that says, I'm here now.
Or just the person that wants something all the time. Like, when we would come up, and especially Guy would come up and see him, we didn't want anything from him. We just want to spend some time with him, because see how a person like that operates in their day, how their brain works. And like, they get pulled in so many directions. Like, their phones, like our phones ring all the time as well. But like, he spends about 2.5 minutes on a phone call. Like, there's no chit chatting, there's no around with the phone conversation. Wow. It's like efficient. Everything he does is, his time is so crucial that it's not, how was the morning? What did you do? It's, what do you want? How can we fix your problem? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, you got about a minute and a half with him on a phone call. It's like to the point. Like,
to the point. Yeah, like it's efficient, and it just shows how much they value their time. And it's not him being rude, or it's not us being rude anymore. It's that we have other things to do.
Totally. And that, you think of that efficiency, how many phone calls you can get through, how many people you can help doing it that way.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, when you can sit across the table from those people, it's so attractive.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're right. It's like huge hit of whatever, dopamine or endorphins or something, you know, and it's like,
it's just like inspiring.
Don't finish that coffee. Don't finish that coffee. Don't finish.
Literally trying to soak up every minute, every word as much as you can.
I want to unpack further about how that came about. We talked about, a while back on the phone, just, and I imagine you'd be the same guy. I've heard Josh say that, but this idea of determination and grit and just willing to hustle long and hard for a long time.
Yeah.
Talk me through that.
I think that it comes down to like holding yourself accountable. So you need to know what you want to do and how to get there. But two, I think everyone wants it to happen straight away, where for probably the last 3 to 5 years, Guy and I, we get up, we go to the gym, or we get up and we start work, and we get up at 4 o'clock every morning, no matter what. And you do that consistently for 3 years, 5 years, whatever. And you don't actually know if it's getting you any closer to where you want to go, but just consistency, like dedication, not always motivation, but eventually consistency gives you that opportunity. And because you've been consistent and you've put your runs on the board, you actually can take the opportunity.
Yeah. Maybe we did discuss, I'm not sure, but it's the idea of luck.
Yeah.
It's funny how luck shows up.
Yeah.
Creating your own luck.
Yeah. You have to be in a position to take it's opportunity with consistency equals luck.
Yeah. I want to try and get to the inception of where you guys are today. Talk me through, what were some, maybe start with you, Guy, what were some key pivotal moments along your journey that got you to the point where the two of you had the conversation, hey, we should do this?
Yeah, well, kind of as we went along, and as Josh mentioned earlier, kind of as our businesses were going side by side, we're doing lots of work together, and we're always just brainstorming, like helping each other with our problems. In the back of my head, I was always thinking, if I was ever going to do business with someone, it's him. Yeah. Like, it's always thought, it's a shame he's running his own business. That's all good, but like our skill sets are completely different. Our strengths are different, but our vision is just so aligned with all aspects of life. I just always thought this would be absolutely epic. I've always wanted to escape Canberra and the cold, and just kind of never had the courage to do it. After coming up and meeting with Emil a few times, helped build that courage. And I was going through a tough point in business last year, and I come up, and then Emil was like, oh, there's this block of land you can buy. So I just bought it while I was there. I just rang my wife and said,
talk me through that.
Yeah.
Because that's a big, you should buy us land. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I was kind of in the point where I'd made some money. I was starting to, or me and my wife, starting to look at doing some other projects. Yes. We'd already just built a beautiful home for ourselves. And then, I come up, and there was a good block and a good spot off market, and it was there. And I was like, oh, if I buy this, I have to move now. And I was in a tough point in my business where I had some very frustrations. I was like, if I buy this, I have to move.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got home, I rang Josh, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm at home. I was like, I'll see you in 20 with a coffee. And we all got there and just said, pack your bags. I bought us a block of land. Let's go.
And I was like,
really?
maybe we need to sit down and have a bit more of a conversation about this, and
let's have a few more coffees.
And Alice, luckily, my wife, has always wanted to live in Queensland, so she was an easy sell. If anything, she was
aligned.
She was easy. She had to convince him to come.
She was dragging me up here.
Oh, really?
But we said, let's both sit down, write out our strengths, write out what we think each other's roles and responsibilities are going to be, what our expectation for the company is, noting I have 2 kids, Guy's about to start having kids, so one, we're both willing to do 14-hour days or whatever it takes, but I don't want to miss my family grow up. Yeah. I don't want to work weekends unless the building's on fire, but I'll do 12, 14 hours every day. I'll wake up at 4, the kids go to sleep, I'll work till 9:30 or whatever, but I'm not missing my family grow up. Yeah. So we sat down over another coffee and said, this is what I think you're going to do. This is what I'm going to do.
So you guys went away and wrote those?
Wrote each other's roles and our own roles. And they come back the same.
Literally.
Wow.
Literally 90, 95% the same. And the only things that weren't different is someone had thought of a role, the other one hadn't. There was no conflicting.
I feel like I almost want to play a game show. It was like, Josh, you walk out of the room while I ask Guy, and then you come back and see if there's
it was crazy. And that's when we were like, this will actually work.
Yeah,
like,
this is good.
Why wouldn't this work?
Talk me through some of those things, because often I'll get asked by, builders we work with, like, what are your thoughts on partnership?
Yeah.
Maybe you've got a unicorn, supervisor, like I'm thinking about bringing him on, or got a mate who's running stuff and I'd love to bring him in and we can do this together, skill sets align. Do I just do profit share? Do I, all that sort of stuff? Or do I just run it myself? Keep control.
Yeah.
I can hire this, I can outsource that. Talk me through the two roles and the difference in your role versus your role, and I think why it works so well.
Well, I think for us, like I came back from, like I'm more from a building background, while Josh is renovation based. So which comes back to the slightly different skill sets that we have, where it was simple. It's like in a partnership for us, I can really focus on the architecturals and the engineering, getting the project out of the ground side. And then it's perfect for Josh to come through then and go through the completion of the house with all the interiors, all the set outs.
Yeah.
And
so if Guy gets it to lock up, then I can get it to the finish line. So then we both can hyper focus on our roles, and having such a good business partner, you are reliant on them being as passionate about what they do. So no detail gets missed, but because you're not trying to tackle the whole fish, you can really like get your head down and dial into the detail. Wow. And it's because it's so easy to miss stuff on these massive houses. Like the engineering that Guy's dealing with is insanity. And then there's 730,000 selections picked from every single supplier in all of Queensland or Australia that you have to somehow compile, get them to be delivered in the right order, dealing with delays, Guys dealing with all of the steel, all of the cranes that have to come to site. The engineering can be, like insanity for crazy suspended slabs and...
And then I think that's it. You come back to the partnership thing. You hear a lot about partnerships falling apart, and I think the biggest issue with those is, one, your visions for the business and life aren't in line, where ours were perfectly for both. And two is that the roles responsibilities issue. If you both want the same role, there's going to be conflicts. You both can't do the same role because there's a lot of other aspects in the business that needs to be done. So if someone's taken the role that both people want, there's always going to be resentment behind it.
Yeah.
So it can really make it hard, and that can create a bit of a rift between the partnership. Definitely.
I'm sure you would have had some naysayers on your journey.
Yeah. Plenty
How
of
do you guys navigate that? And is that recent? You've always had naysayers?
I can't, in my life, I have a zero tolerance. So kind of, if you don't align with the values that I have for life, you don't have to want to be crazy business driven, but if you don't want better for yourself and for your family and support your friends and what they're doing, I kind of just am pretty brutal with it. It's just not going to be a thing.
Yeah. I think we had some naysayers as well on the way out of Canberra, and some of them friends, some of them, and it's not that they didn't want the best for you. I think because what you're doing is out of their wheelhouse, it's scary for them to think the risk you're about to take.
Totally.
Like both me and Guy sold everything we owned to move here. Both of our houses, all of our life savings are dumped into these two companies. Wow. So we're all in, no plan B.
There's no going back.
There's no going back. Everything is invested.
Burn the ships.
So
we definitely did that. We burnt more than the ships.
we're all in. But I think once again comes back to runs on the board. Do you believe in what you're doing? Do you back your business partner? Do you back yourself? Does your family support you, like your immediate family? And why you're doing it? Like I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for my wife and my kids. And Guy's doing it for his future family. I think when you have the right reasons to do something, everyone's opinion is just an opinion. Like everyone can have an opinion. It doesn't matter if you listen to it or not.
Have you both always had that level of duck feathers? The idea that you can have your opinion. Cool. I'm not going to let it get to me.
I think when I was young, I definitely used to let other people's opinions affect me and worry me. But kind of now I've just learned that I'm on my own path. Like whether it's right, wrong in people's eyes, it's what I'm doing. I'll take advice from people that can stand in, that do stand in the right positions where it's worth listening to. You cop a lot of advice from other people, but it's just really just thinking about where that advice is coming from and is it genuine and is it worth taking on board as well as just trying to keep a clear head, because there are some people that have genuine good advice for and care about you where it might not be what you want to hear, but you got to listen to it. So it's really just thinking about where's this advice coming from? Is it coming from someone that actually knows what they're talking about, or whether it's not? Because no one's perfect. Like we make mistakes, and if someone can help you along the way with some good advice, you just got to humble yourself and take it.
And some of the advice is just from caring about you a lot and scared that, what if it doesn't work?
That's so true.
Like, you're going to sell everything you own and move to Queensland. Like, you've built a good business here. You've got a house. Your kids are healthy and happy. Like, why would you risk all of it for the what if? And it's like, what if it doesn't work? But it's like, what if it works?
Yeah. Or it's like, I can happily live my life knowing I gave it everything and tried everything I wanted to try. And if it didn't work, then that's fine, rather than be laying in my deathbed and going, I wish I'd tried this, and this. Yeah. Like, we're not dying wondering. Yeah. We're out there having a proper go, and
I guess
we have a crazy idea.
That's exactly was part reason after we spoke to Guy. Alice goes, in 5 years, are you going to regret not going? And I said, I'm definitely going to regret that. And she goes, well, there's your answer.
When you get asked like that, it's like,
are you going to look back and go, that was the opportunity that I missed, and I'd put in all those 4 o'clock mornings to get myself in a position where if an opportunity like that comes, you can take it, but you got to believe that you can take it.
That's a very important question, actually. Now you ask that, now that you raise that, because you're right. If you're putting in all this hard work,
all the coaching,
investing, reinvesting, 4 a.m, long days.
Yeah. What are you doing it for?
What are you doing it for? Like, and because to a degree, you could do that every day and be like, one day it's coming.
Yeah.
Well, what's coming? What are you waiting for? What do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. And people always talk about, I'm just waiting for when the time's right. When's the time ever right? There's always going to be an excuse. There's always a reason.
Prior to the opportunity to move to Queensland came up, what do you feel like you were waiting for, looking for?
Oh, I was looking to start my family. So like my wife did IVF to get us our first son.
Okay.
Crazy expense, as people that have done IVF know. And I think watching her go through that put me in a different path from like we both gave up. Well, obviously she gave up alcohol, but I did it with her to kind of push the, I guess, joint, not responsibility, because
this is a team effort though.
Team effort. Like what she was doing was incredible. What she put her body through was unreasonable. But she did it for what we both wanted. And then I think that flicked a switch in my head that because I was still, having fun with the boys, drinking beers, carrying on the weekends. And then watching her put that kind of tunnel vision into our future and our life, I think flicked my switch and was like, well, if she's doing that, I've got heaps more left in me. So I'm going to go all in, like got crazy fit, because I think I just enjoyed, she was doing hard things, I wanted to do hard things. And then Guy was already doing crazy, stupid shit, like 75 hard and things like that. And I think that just pushed me to realize if you can control your energy and put it into somewhere like that, you can shoot for the stars.
That's a perspective articulated like that I've never heard. But I've witnessed it. Like I've seen my wife has the ability to do that kind of tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep up sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, they're crazy. Women are intense.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So it's, watching someone go through that struggle is really, really hard.
Okay.
And if what you have to put to that table, I can't bear a child, but what I can do is I can provide for my family And if she's going to put all that work in to get me the family that I've always wanted, then that's the bare minimum I can do.
Yeah, if anything, you've got it easy. If anything,
I've got it easy. 100%.
Yeah.
If all I got to do is just keep bettering myself, then why would you not do that for your family?
Yeah. Is that an easy reminder? Do you just think about that on hard days, or have there been other things since then that have compounded that?
Yeah. Our IVF baby Arthur, at 6 weeks old, had heart surgery. So he got flown up to Westmead in Sydney. Spent 6 weeks up there in hospital with him, which was crazy. And once again, you see your little boy smile and you're like, I can level up again.
Yeah.
So
he's a little dude as well. He's a legend.
He's a funny little boy. And then we got Elsie, our 1-year-old daughter. Surprised, we didn't know we could have a baby like that. So
wow.
Yeah, so that's incredible. And like, also why it's going to be awesome to see Guy become a dad, because I can't wait to see what happens when he sees his kid smile for the first time and goes, oh shit, let's turn the fire back up.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm hungry now. We'll see what happens then.
What happens when you see someone like that you know you have to protect?
Yeah. Yeah, it is such a blessing and a privilege to be responsible for kids. Agreed. And to be able to go, wow, this, to a large degree, I'm going to influence how this kid ends up.
Yep.
What sort of example am I setting? Yeah, I remember meeting a guy a few years back, very clever guy, driven, accomplished a lot. And he decided not to have kids with his partner.
Yeah.
And I was like, I respect you, okay. But I was like, man, if I think of what some kids have to look up to, what some kids have to endure in childhood, suboptimal parenting, I think, man, you could give a kid a phenomenal childhood, and pave a way for, he was a big thinker, and I just often think of that, being like, man, it really is, it is a big privilege and a big blessing. Yeah,
it is. You don't know a love like that until you see your kids, and then they get to certain ages where you come home and you've had a day at work, and they just say Dad and put their arms up to you, and you're like, whatever, I don't care what happened at work. Like, this is, I'm happy to deal with what happened at work because I get that. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, just all the goes out the door, and but it's funny having someone like Guy as your business partner. The days are but they're they build who we are, they build the problem solvings, they build the resilience. And like, we have some of the shittest days sometimes, and we leave the office or the job site and we're kind of not laughing about it, but like, that was fun. Geez, that was tough. That was, and it's like, but we solved the problem, no one died, the house didn't burn down, it just sucked, today just sucked. But if you're doing it with someone that's positive and you're not going to have every day good.
Which I think is cool. Like, in our partnership, it's awesome. Doesn't matter what the issue is. We're like, bang our heads together a few times, someone's going to think of something. We come up with or Josh come up with an idea to solve a problem the other day. Just how we're just there dealing with the issue, having a laugh about it. The issue was, and he just said something as a joke, and we're like, oh, whoa, step it back up. That's the answer. Slightly spin it, but that works. Yeah. Wow. And it was just funny from that. We were like, is that something you can share? That's all right. Nah, we'll leave it. That's all right. We'll leave it. We'll talk about it maybe off camera. If we look at that concept though, every day is not smooth sailing. You burn your ships, move up here. It's not just sipping drinks by the pool. Can you give us an example of a real challenge that some of the guys listening to this be like, okay, you guys aren't just sailing on big yachts and fishing. Yeah, that's coming. That's definitely coming. But yeah, some of the challenges that even though you've got a great partnership, it's not smooth sailing. There's still challenges on site with projects, with
I don't know, procurement or engineering, and you're working through those?
Yeah, I think with the first project we started, it was kind of a house that we've never built before. So there was always going to be a learning with it. The documentation for that project was questionable.
Yeah.
So it kind of made it a lot challenging of what we actually had to pull together on site, as well as the rain that we've experienced up here.
Yeah.
The last couple of months was definitely interesting. I think we pulled out 1,600 cube of dirt out of this basement and the first floor for this house. And it just kept raining and raining and raining. You dig the footings, it would rain, everything would collapse. So it was definitely challenging, just kind of getting out of the ground with weather we'd never experienced, with the amount that we had it on a fully complicated house that we hadn't fully dealt with before. Yeah. And there was definitely a lot of challenging. It was expensive.
Yeah.
And so if looking at something like that, because I know you guys both have the mindset of, in hindsight, we're grateful for that. Had we not had that, we wouldn't have had those learnings, and 61 wouldn't have now this data memory bank built into it to do things better the next time, which I love. Doing that again, how would you potentially go about doing things differently?
Well, we've just reflected on it, and the whole time as each stage was happening, we just constantly reviewed what can we do better, what can we do different. Next year, if it rains again like this, how can we make it less of an issue? Yeah. And we've just created full systems and processes for it. Yeah. So when we come to the next one, it's like, if it rains, it's still going to be an issue, but we've
just finished creating like a complete booklet, like checklist from start to finish job. So it's like the Bible for our job site. It goes to site supervisor, every single stage gets ticked off, flicked, exactly what needs to happen, whether it involves a subcontractor or not. If it involves them, they mark it down with our site supervisor, check it off, sign the papers. At the end of the project, we have a complete booklet of a complete checklist, which we also then integrate into our job management software so that the checklist lives in there. There's a backup checklist. It's just trying to continuously bulletproof your system.
As well as efficiency. We have every stage of the project fully documented out. So like on all future projects, each stage will have highlight markup plans, finished heights written directly on it for each stage, the top of footing, bottom of footing. One creates complete efficiency. Every contractor knows when they're turning up exactly what they're doing, as well as our site manager knows, all right, this is sweet. They've got to spend less time with the contractor to get them going, and then they can come back with them, go through the markup plan with the checklist that Josh mentioned and get it all ticked off. And just the efficiency of that allows us to get through the stages a lot quicker. So with the rain, you can get in and out of stages quicker, where hopefully it's going to impact your work less.
Yeah, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm keen to see that evolution, iteration, and as we chat in the future and hearing how that's
other
progressed.
Challenges we had coming up here is we'd built such a great network in Canberra, then you move, thousands of k's away, and you don't have any plumbers anymore. You don't have any reliable electricians, concreters, joiners, the full work. So you have to rebuild your whole network, and then you also have to build your supplier network. Like we had great relationships with all suppliers back home. You then need to start all that again, and you get to a point where you've had your company for long enough. You call someone with a problem, wrong taps got delivered. How quick can we get them? You already have that relationship. We don't have that relationship anymore. So it's all building everything again, and then the reliability, and then because the project is so massive, how do you trust a trade to do a $3.5 million build if you've never seen them do anything before? So you kind of
talk me through what that has really been like, rebuilding, because the network is so important. And I want to talk about network on that level, but also the network like a meal. There's all fall under the umbrella of the importance of networking and investing in your network.
It does, definitely. One thing that we've been a part of is Emil's One Life Club. Him and Simon Beard have a network of young, or not even all, just young, all different age people in every different business you could ever imagine. And being in that network of people coming up here, there's 3 electricians, 4 plumbers. There's every trade you can imagine in there. And it's, working with these people, you've got a good chance it's going to work well because they're in there to better themselves. So it's helping to align with that vision. For us, it's super important. that everyone has a similar vision, looking after themselves, trying to better themselves personally and their business. So being a part of that network for us helped massively. I think on one job we got 8 people out of that group working on 8 different trades. So,
and then we're also part of Future Build, which you had Kyle's and Ed on here the other day. And once again, you got problem solving abilities from there. You've got, you know, you send a message out in that group chat. Is there any chippies around here that we can borrow a couple boys for a couple of days? And, you know, you might get 5 people respond and be like, I can give you boys or whatever you need. So once again, that kind of goes back to buying yourself into circles. But how else, like 2 boys from Canberra moving to Brisbane, you've got no runs on the board up here. You call up a plumber and they're like, I'm busy, mate. I'm not going to come work for you. Call up a plumber that's part of One Life and they're like, oh yeah, I'll come have a look. Like you're part of this platform. So you kind of get a bit of trust in another company because like I mentioned, they're dedicated in growing their company. So you know they're not going to be around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so important. That's and you would think it would come. There's a lot of people I talk to that I would say don't understand maybe the importance of the network. They just and their network is at a level of, like, let's say their trades and suppliers. It's at a level which is good. It allows them to do their job and projects. But you think it could be a whole lot better. Are you investing in those relationships?
Yeah.
You know, what sort of feedback are you giving back? Are you giving thanks and gratitude? Are you doing favors back? Are you, what would you say? Can you speak into that? Were you aware of that sort of stuff back in Canberra?
Yeah.
Or how have you fast tracked some of the relationship building up here and trust building? And
I think thanks goes a long way, but also just being good people. Like, construction industry is a really hard industry. Like, not only do we deal with the weather, we deal with 10 job sites, 5 job sites on the go at one time. There could be, 10 different trades across all sites. So you're trying to manage people, you're trying to manage supply, you're trying to manage weather. But I think if you are managing as a team and you got like team first environment, you got great culture, we get to a point where, like, the concreter or the bricklayer comes and works half a day in the rain because he knows that we need to push this schedule ahead.
Wow.
But they do that because if they make a mistake on our job or if we make a mistake to them, you're not going to come down hard on everyone because, like, people make mistakes. We're all just trying to get to the solution. Yeah. If you have that, like, ethos in your company where together we can solve the problem and not blame people and, like, accuse people of doing, you get a really good network of people that can work together.
That's so true.
And I think just, having that good relationship with them and just knowing that if they do mess up, because we all do, that you're not just going to not pay them or rouse them or anything like that. It's just like, tell us the issue. What happened? How can we resolve this together? And in the future, on the next job, what can we put in place so this doesn't happen? And I think, and that's the same with our boys too, which we say to them, like, we all make mistakes. Just don't hide anything. If you screw something up, just let us know. Like,
we can fix it.
And
we need to know about it.
That culture is so important. Not just for your internal team, but for the trades and suppliers that you work with. So, hey man, like, that problem, it's okay. That problems come up, but let's work towards. And I find often people are so grateful for that. No doubt, in the construction industry being a hard place where they would probably have copped abuse from many other corners if they had done that with someone else, maybe. So when you start treating them like that, there's this natural gravitation towards.
Paying them on time helps.
True. Let's treat that as a foundational. But I've used the example of sometimes with guys, it's like, man, if you can invest in that relationship and just show gratitude, like, the sort of stories that we create, if you're doing a case study or a project, send it to all your suppliers and all your contractors and say, thank you for being a part of this. And we've heard some phenomenal stories from people coming back on, wow, I had no idea that's what you did. It's amazing to be a part of that. And all of a sudden they see their role with you a lot closer and a lot tighter, and they deem themselves a really important part of what you're doing. And so it's like, oh, we've got one vanity on the shelf. Oh, 61 Property Group have put in a PO for that. Oh, and builder down the road who doesn't pay us on time, or, we cop it from him. Who am I going to send it to? Who do I want to help? Who do I want to see succeed? Whether that's conscious or subconscious, that's just human.
I think it's just such a simple thing. Just If you're a good person to people, people are going to be good back to you.
Yeah.
Super simple, but goes a long way.
If we look at networking, so we talked about at that level, the networking on a meals level. I know we touched on it a little bit earlier. When are you in a room with those having drinks on the weekend with the boys? The next room, it was a great analogy there. The next room you had was reading books, talking about investing, buying shares,
buying
a house. Then the next thing is
buying suburbs.
Buying suburbs.
Yeah. Building, like, we're gonna go for lunch at one of Emil's friends' new hotels on the Gold Coast, and he built the hotel. And it's like, what is that guy talking about on the weekends?
Yeah.
Not how many beers he drank and what the football score was.
Yeah. I was talking to a guy who the other day who had his lunch, and he's like, had a lunch. He sat down at the table with a guy who had invited him. And the guy was worth, over 100 mil net. And then the two other people across the table, one was a billionaire and the other one was just very high up in circles. And they were just like the menu, there's a different sort of menu, different sort of restaurant. And afterwards, the guy who invited him and took him there was chatting. I was like, I can see that was the first time you've ever paid that for a steak. And he's like, how'd you know? He's like, your eyes kept going to the right of the page, and I mean, this guy was worth, I don't know, a fair few mil already.
Yeah.
But just
didn't want to spend $1,000 on a steak back
then. Yeah, and it's just that networking. But he said that this friend who was there, the person at the table there who was high up in certain circles, that lunch was there for networking.
Yeah. And
I don't know, it was like 4 days later, contract landed on the desk of the friend who had invited him, and there's a $20 million contract. No tendering involved.
Yeah.
And it was like, that $1,000 steak's pretty cheap, huh?
Buy a lot of steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just shows, that who are you circling yourself with?
Yeah.
What's it been like to network with someone like Emil and rub shoulders and get a look in at how he thinks and how he operates? I
think it goes back to, once again, like, I'm sure Emil deals with hundreds and thousands of people, but when you get to know Emil, he is super generous with his time. Like, One Life is an advisory board for entrepreneurs that want to grow, and he gives so much time to that. But then he's like, he'll invite people into his circle really easy. He has people like his beautiful home in Indooroopilly in Brisbane. He'll do lunch and learns there and put on a feed for 50 people like once a month. And it's like, he doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, same as the other day. He's mates with Nick from MacTech, and he organised for us to go down and go through a couple of his projects.
Yeah.
And spend a few hours with Nick, which was absolutely unbelievable from someone we look up to in the building industry, who's like, is
probably the best builder in Australia.
Like, insane. And having that time just through that network, like, potentially maybe one day we could have gone and done that with Nick, but just the time Emil come down, organise it, spend the time with us.
Just fast track that opportunity.
Yeah. And it's just, it was crazy. Like,
what Nick's doing is incredible.
What did you find most impressive about that encounter with someone like Nick?
I think he took us to Cloudbreak, which is the most insane project here in Burleigh. And just like, one thing you see on Instagram, like, photos, videos look awesome, but then a lot of time you go to places and see them in person, you go, oh, that's actually not that great. But this house was perfect. It's like 800 and something square meters, and there was not one thing that was not perfect. Like, nothing. There was
two of them with a wall breaking them.
And they're like 4 or 5 story houses, and there was not one thing you would pick. And
but also his personality was like, you'd think someone that's running, X amount of $1 million under contract at one time would be highly strung, quite stressed, like on the phone putting out fires. But I think he's created such a good team around him. He was super calm, humble. Like, he's taking us through a build cost of $11+ million for the house.
And he's just talking about it like he's building a specky home, like a 4-bedroom house that anyone can buy.
He was just down to
It's
earth.
just, yeah.
What did you ask him? What's the hardest part of any project? And he said, nothing, as long as you do the right planning for it all.
Yeah. And like
Everything's
you'd
achievable.
expect if you ask someone like that, they'd be like, oh, this was really hard. That was really hard. And they'd start about their process. And then you asked him, what was the most fun part about this project? He's like, oh, putting the pool on the roof was sick. The helicopter pad was sick. Like that amped him up. Like the excitement level of what he does, he still has. But how difficult, like that project is on a massive hill. The access to it is nearly impossible. Like they are all really hard things that he could have said, that sucked, but he didn't. He just said,
Wow.
Just plan for it.
Plan for it.
Yeah.
And that was like inspiring because you're like, we probably would have been like, oh man,
We were like
shit was
that,
hard.
and it was already built. We were looking at it like, ooh.
Yeah. It shows you that the mindset of someone, of these people in these other rooms.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure. I
and
imagine
the people he surrounds himself with, like he's built his team of subcontractors, of suppliers, and the reliability of all of them too. Like he knows he can call his plumber, and his plumber's going to have answers that he doesn't have because he's not a plumber.
Yeah. In terms of, I lived in Mermaid for a little while, and
that's
he was
where Cloudbreak is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was building.
Oh no, it's in Miami.
I forget on what street. Anyways, there were like 3 of his buildings built like almost within a block of each other. It felt like maybe 3 blocks. 3 of his builds, and they were going up so much faster than any other project in the area. And there were projects there that were just doing like, I mean, I'm not construction background or knowledge, so maybe other things I don't know, but it's like there was one that just looked like they were blocky units and renoing and or didn't know house, just changing the outside cladding. But there was, I don't know, hoarding on that for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And his 3-story pool on the roof was up in months. And that, I imagine comes back down to team. There was never not a trade on site.
Yeah.
Someone was always working on that. That project never had downtime.
I think it comes to his scheduling abilities and then the reliability of his team to execute and keep it running. Like scheduling is so important so that not only our boys know what they're doing, but like suppliers know, because it's all well and good to book your delivery of timber in 6 months in advance and like, cool, you're organized. But if you don't keep that communication up, and we've had 4 weeks of delays because of the rain, and your timber rocks up and you haven't got concrete down, and then you just have a pile of timber sitting there. Like it's scheduling is so important. It's constant. It's constantly moving.
I want to say that I know what that's like, but I have absolutely no idea. I want to say, I had a split system delivered from Good Guys, and then the installer, he's moved the date 3 times. Yeah, scheduling, huh?
It's important.
Whole another kettle of fish. When you guys look forward, I know you guys are extremely excited of what's to come. Like what you guys have achieved so far is nothing compared to where your goals are, and your goals, I imagine, have grown just in the last couple of months.
Yeah,
with networking with who you are networking with. What are you most excited about when you think of the future? Where's 61 Property Group going?
To the moon.
Yeah, nice.
I think we're excited.
Lunch with Elon after this.
I think we're excited to keep growing our team first of all, and build a culture that, like, if me and guys we have big goals, but we think that we can produce a company that is big enough and driven enough that other people can create their goals within the company. Like the more we can build our team up and level their career up, and can't wait to see our new apprentice, 17 years old. One of our big milestones will be when he buys his first house. Like imagine how good that'll be when you can build your team up to hit a goal like that. Like that's what we want from our business. Like to grow big and build all these amazing houses is going to be sick. But I think if your core vision is your team and the people around you and building everyone up, like that's actually how you get there.
Yeah. Definitely. And just the results that we're going to see from having that dedication to our team. Like, we don't just want to employ people for a year or two. We want to be with us 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
We want to build careers for people, not just jobs. Yeah. It's super, super important to us. And during that, we're constantly asking, like, what's your personal goals, your business goals in 1, 3, 5 years? Because we want to help you grow into that. Like Josh said, we have very large goals and our vision is large enough. We want people to be able to grow to their goals for their life within that. Because that way you're going to maintain and have great stuff throughout your business.
And if you're kind of constantly putting that pressure on your staff, like, you know, we want to have healthy staff, like going to the gym or like, you know, getting out, doing things that fill your cup up and bring you energy, like, is how you create that culture. Like, reliability and kind of expectations on your staff gives them, I think it shows them that you're not a number to us. We don't say, yeah, good, Carl rocked up and he knocked his 8 hours out. We're like, what'd you do on the weekend, Carl? Did you get to the gym? Like, showing interest in their life. And then they want to give back because they see that we're invested in them. So they want to invest in our company.
That's epic. That is really cool. Really, really cool.
But yeah, end goal is build some cool stuff.
Lots of it.
Lots of it, yeah.
Man.
And just work with the right people, like working with Jason Pate for these next couple projects. Just the way his brain works, again, like the different rooms, like he sees a block of land and like he does a lot of stuff with Nick from MacTech as well. Yep. The way he sees a block of land is incredible. Like and how fast he moves, how quick his team moves. Like,
yeah, they're a very efficient business. Oh, yeah. And the quality of their work is unbelievable.
Yeah. And like the way he can just see a block and put a house on it and shape it. And then if we can go back and forth and give each other a bit of direction and be like, what about we change this or do this? He's straight onto it. Or he gives reason why he's done it that way, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes more sense than what I was thinking about.
And I think the good thing with him is he's happy to push back on an idea too, but actually backs it with his reasoning why. It's not just an accept it and you boys deal with it on side. He'll actually push back on it and give valid reasons to why he thinks it's not a good idea, and then from there you can have that discussion. Yeah. Is it worth going down that other design route, or do we take on board what he said, and is that going to be the best outcome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you raised that. Maybe it'd be good to dive into that a little bit. I had a designer in here earlier in the week on the podcast, and they were also just reiterating the importance of you got to collaborate. It's got to be a team.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get along and you have to be open to, you know, it was good to hear a designer talk like this, and like, you've got to be open to what is the builder thinking, saying what's possible, and working with that, because at the end of the day, you are also, the goal is to get this to site, and so you also have to respect the budget.
Definitely. And having the view from both parties, definitely a big play, as well as if you can go one step further and have an engineer that designer works with. Then if you can have them involved as well, because so much of what they say can depend a lot on the budget.
Yeah. That's awesome to hear. So you say you guys, that team effort, or that team dynamic is really good with just Jason.
Amazing.
Definitely, definitely. And because he's one that he wants, obviously, like you mentioned, to get the project to be built. Like, they can draw really cool stuff, but if a architect gets their ego involved, or if the builder gets their ego involved, and then you start clashing heads on who's right, you're not going to get anything done. So the collaboration of like, why we want to do it like this, could we actually change it like that? So like, Guy has input on the engineering and be like, if we do this, it's actually cheaper to build, but we can achieve the same outcome. And then, you know, the collaboration part comes in where everyone gets what they want, but no one has to smash heads to get it.
Yeah, that's important. I guess communication to flow both ways.
Yeah. Take the ego out.
Yeah, that is so important. Oh man, and if we looked at short term this year, what are you guys most excited about for the next 12 months?
Bal
Harbour.
Yeah.
Emil's bought a beautiful block of land here in Broadwater. Is it?
Broadbeach.
Yeah.
Waters.
Broadbeach Waters.
Yeah.
which is a 75 metre water frontage. The block land also come with plans, which is a 4-storey house, all suspended decks.
Yeah.
Barely a straight wall in it, so we're in the plans.
Completely curved.
Yeah, we're planning that at the moment, and that's going to be pretty exciting. It's definitely something we've never done before, and it's going to be it's like a one of a kind.
Yeah.
It's going to be an icon of the Gold Coast.
Yeah,
I
complete
can't wait.
wellness downstairs, like the whole
yeah.
basement level will fit a couple cars, but it's completely dedicated to wellness down there, so it's going to be epic. Yeah,
which is wellness is such a big thing that's coming into these luxury homes.
Yeah.
It's gone from a time of having a movie theater or a cinema
or
in
man
your
cave
house or a man cave. It's everyone's wanting wellness.
Yeah,
It's your ice baths, your hot baths, saunas, steam rooms.
yeah.
Like even Emil's getting a cryo put in his house. Some Beard's got a cryo in his house. Like they're on the expensive end, but that's
A
Hyper-
cry?
a cryotherapy
chamber.
chamber. So it goes to about a negative 100 degrees and you
What?
jump in it for a couple of minutes. So it's like the ice bath, but going 20 steps further.
You only stay in it for like 3 or so minutes, don't you?
About 3 minutes.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so yeah, that build is going to be incredible. Like we can't wait to break ground there.
Yeah, man, that's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to hear, to follow that along with you guys. And then during or after it, hear, at the start of this conversation, you talked about being able to just have like hyper focus with your subspecialties and skill sets and experience, how that plays out on something of this magnitude.
Yeah, we're excited.
Guy, Josh, thank you very much for coming on the podcast today. Thanks for making
JP.
time.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, mate. It was good yarn.
It's good.
It was my pleasure. So thank you.